What's up, guys? Elliot Alvis here for Worldwide TV, and I am joined, of course, by John Kruse, kind of the main man of this whole operation. And today, we're going to take you on a little tour of the offerings of this year's 2024 Scottsdale auction. We've got some great stuff, if you can't already tell from behind us, but we're going to walk through in a little bit more detail, John, right? What do you want to start with?
Well, I think I would start off by saying three things. Number one is we have a really diverse offering of cars.
We do.
Kind of something for everybody. A lot of them are no reserve, and a lot of them, as we go through and curate the offering we have, we're pretty intentional about it. And I think we got some exceptional cars that are going to fit a lot of collectors' want lists. And the cars that we do have are pretty exceptional within their categories, and I think they're cars that you're going to like. So we hope everybody comes out and sees us tomorrow.
Tomorrow, 11 a.m. Mountain Standard Time, aka Arizona time.
That's right.
That does change. But tomorrow, it's 11 a.m.
We're local time, and we got bitter breakfast for those of you that are here in town or close by. Come on out.
Come on out. It's going to be like a fun hang all day.
Mimosas, bagels, fruit cups,
it's gonna be
eggs,
it's
coffee. The whole deal. It's going to be a blast. But I mean, I think that we probably ought to just start right here in the center.
Yes.
Which
is the cover car.
The cover car.
Yes.
And it's the quintessential car for a gentleman driver.
Yes.
Obviously, anybody could drive it, but it's one of the most iconic cars. Period. Always has been, and I think always will be. And so this particular car is one that we know a lot of the past owners. It's got impeccable provenance, factory black red,
wraith of red top even.
That's right. It's got the big brakes, and it's just a wonderfully cared for, exceptional example that
it
is one, if you want a great car that you can drive and use, this is the car.
It's ready for touring, and there's a reason it's the cover car. You know, it really does. It presents beautifully, and as you said, it's kind of a quintessential collector car for anybody. The 300 SL is kind of the car.
Yeah. And surrounding it, of course, we have a group of more modern sports cars, and folks our age kind of grew up when these cars were coming out. So now to see them be appreciated for their rarity, and as we watch them appreciate, I think we're looking at some cars that whatever they sell for here tomorrow, as we look to the future, 5 and 10 years, are going to be worth a ton more than they are now. So great investment opportunity, but also these cars are ready to go.
Yes.
Right? And this one right here,
they're drivable.
might be the one that'll go up the quickest.
Yes.
It's a significant
probably
car.
the rarest. And I will say it is my favorite car of the collection. A 2001 Ferrari 550 Barchetta. And the history behind this is you could always get the 550 Maranello hardtop only. It was the front engine V12, kind of flagship Ferrari of the time. And when it was time for that model to go away, Ferrari made a special edition of it. And for that, they cut the top off. And I mean, they really made a true roadster. It doesn't even have a convertible top in the traditional sense that you can put back up. So this is the coolest version of a special car to me, because that's the way it should be. Front engine V12, top down, pure sound, gated manual. They're just so cool, and they're extraordinarily rare. They only made 448 in the world. That means in the US we only really got about 200 of them. And so you don't really see them out and about too often, that's for sure.
Well, and I'm not
instantly
alone.
collectible.
Yeah, I'm not alone in thinking this is probably the next Ferrari that will hit the $1 million mark. At some point, probably not in the too distant future.
No, absolutely not. And like I said, it looks great. You'd never even believe this is from 2001. And speaking of timeless designs, also red, we have the 2005 Ford GT. And if you've been following the market at all since these came out, basically, these have been one of the you can't lose investments. First of all, it's a great homage to the GT40, but they moderned it up in such a way that, I mean, you can't help but be like, every time you see one, go, whoa, look at that.
Well, and Elliot, these cars, for the driving experience, in my opinion, are about as good a value as you can get for this era of car. They are so fun to drive. They turn every head. Of course, this one has all the options, but equally as important, it's a low mile car, but it has been used some.
Right, it's low mile to the point where it's not, you can't drive it, but it is not It doesn't have 10,000. I think it only has like 2,500.
About 2,500,
yeah.
but you know, it's cool to have a 100-mile car.
Yeah, but you can't drive it.
But these cars were built to be driven, so having it been used a little bit is really important, I think, not just to the long-term health of the car,
right,
but to your ability to use it a little bit while still maintaining some value.
Exactly, and that's kind of the best part about using cars as an investment. You can actually enjoy it. You know, you can actually get out there and have fun in your appreciating asset.
Well, Elliot, I think some hot cars in the market, and especially for the next generation, but also for people who like to drive Lamborghinis. Sometimes your options are a little limited on the comfortable driving experience, but these two bad boys are awesome, and we've got kind of the best of both worlds. Tell us about these two cars.
They're great. I mean, it's hard to know where to start from. I mean, the yellow Lamborghini over there is a 2004. It was very early in the Murcielago experience. You still get a 6.2 liter V12, but the thing that's special about this car is it actually has the rare gated manual transmission. See, back when these came out, you could get the automated E-gear, which was kind of touted as the racing transmission, and it was actually an expensive option. And so most people got that because that was the future. But as true motoring enthusiasts do, a lot of people really want that 6-speed manual. And what happened was, there aren't that many manuals now. So the ones that are increasingly desirable, and that is what this car is, and it's in amazing shape. I mean,
my favorite part about this car, though, are two things. One, it's got the factory sport exhaust.
Yes, it sounds amazing.
Beast mode. It sounds incredible.
It sounds so good.
But also, this car has been fully serviced, and it is ready to go. So you can buy it as an icon or collectible, or to just have in your collection, but you can drive this car home.
You can, yeah.
And it would be a blast doing it.
And then over here, it's kind of a later model successor and sans roof. We have a 2009 LP640 Roadster. So the difference between these cars, other than lacking a roof, is the LP640 designation. So they increased the displacement of the engine from 6.2 to 6.5 liters, and in doing so, they gained about 80 horsepower. And this was kind of the send-off for the Murcielago. A lot of people's favorite modern Lamborghini. After this, obviously, came the Aventador, but this one is in impeccable shape, black on black. It's kind of been calling it the Bruce Wayne spec since we got here, because this is practically exactly what Batman drove in the movies. And it's so cool. It's got the deviated yellow stitching on the inside, which match the yellow calipers on the carbon ceramic brakes on this thing. And honestly, I do believe having the top down, much like the 550, is the way to experience one of these cars. The intakes are right here, and it makes this great noise. These things are such a blast. Murcielago Roadsters have been one of my favorite things I've ever driven, ever, because of just the whole circus experience of the whole thing. I mean, it is an event.
It is. And any of you that know me know that it's the people that really bring these cars to life for me. And so we know the first owner, good friends with the second and current owner, who's our seller, and they are fastidious. So this car has been cared for its entire life. I mean, garage kept, detailed, service, just came off a fresh service. So it's got 4,300 miles, clean Carfax, no hit, no paint. Like, this car is something that, while a lot of us like bright colors, everybody likes black.
Yes, can't go wrong with black.
This car arguably is the no-brainer. I mean, I call it triple black because the top's black too, but a triple black, low mile, clean Carfax, and limited ownership
right towards the end of the thing. Those, they made less LPs than anything else. So I mean, that alone, the rarity is there, and having an LP Roadster,
investment grade.
Absolutely. Now, behind Evan here, this one we have to talk about, the GT350. But if I'm not mistaken, this is one of the rare factory supercharged cars.
Well, so this does have a Paxton supercharger, so it's been added after, but great car. It provides a really outstanding opportunity for a little bit of increased juice. And we got some great muscle here. Across the way, we got the KR
the
version.
GT500.
So it's neat to have both of them here. And, we'll see some of the other great muscle, but, these cars are well documented. They're in excellent condition. While this car has the Paxton, super neat, this car is completely in its stock configuration, but I love the green tan contrast of the KR. It's really really striking, and I think everybody kind of likes
Yes,
that.
I totally agree. We can't go on without talking about something that's pretty rare, you just don't see, is a pre-war BMW. I've kind of mentioned this. Really, if you think about it, we didn't see BMWs in the States at all until really the mid to late 70s is when we started really getting them. So having a pre-war BMW is crazy rare, not to mention in this striking color combination. I mean,
it is impossible to miss.
Yeah, you can't miss it.
And it's a lot of fun, and this is a car that has been used quite a bit. It's had a great restoration, but another one that you can actually drive.
You can drive, you could tour this.
You can drive. Yeah. And that's, I think, something that as our hobby matures and as each year goes by, more and more people are placing a higher value on the usability of their collector cars while still having to be a great investment. So we love having cars that you can use.
Definitely.
And these cars are all cars you can get in and use right now.
For sure. Now, Evan, you're gonna have to back way up for this one because of the sheer scale of this. Now, this is a 1959 Cadillac Eldorado convertible, and the sheer scale of it is what makes it so cool. This is as big as the big fin cars ever got, which to most people makes it the most desirable. But I mean, the red on white spec, this one is a Barrett's, and it has the cruise control, it has air, and it has the Autronic Eye, which is an early version of automatically dimming high beams, which, can you imagine in 1959, that would have been space age, not unlike your taillights.
When your 50s cars, of course, are built for cruising, and you can call it gaudy or ostentatious, but it's really iconic.
It's iconic.
Right? These are absolutely spectacular. And you know, red isn't necessarily my favorite color on cars, but on a 59 Eldo,
pops on this.
It works.
Yeah.
This car has air conditioning added to it, so that provides an extra level of comfort.
Comfort and drivability, which has been a theme here.
That's right. And this is just a great example of a wonderfully cared for but iconic car.
Yeah. And again, you talk about driving. This would be a comfortable, float you down the road.
Oh, they are so much fun to drive.
They are
so much fun to
so
drive.
fun.
Now, Elliot, since Rod isn't here,
yes, I know,
we're going to pause because Rod, of course, loves Porsches, as I think all of us do.
Yeah, how can you go wrong?
And the Speedster, of course, is one that
it's iconic. Again,
everybody loves it.
Yeah, just look at it. First of all, I mean, the 356 is already a good-looking car, but the Speedster variant is iconic not only because of James Dean and all the photos and stuff like that, but I mean, I love the little chopped windshield. I mean, it has the little rock guards in the headlights. I mean, it's the look, and I think that literally embodies 50s sports car, which was a rare thing in the 50s.
I do want to point out, Worldwide Auctioneers is based in Indiana. James Dean, of course, is from Fairmount, Indiana. Yes. The king of cool, so lots of cool things come out of Indiana. But once again, the story, decades, the same owner. He had a fleet of Porsches, used this one all over North America, and actually upgraded it to a 912 motor because he used it a ton.
That's great.
So it's a wonderfully restored car, but it's dialed in and it's ready to drive.
Yep.
Right? You can use this car right now. So having that high quality car that you can still get in and use is something, as we keep hitting on, but we love that.
Yes.
And we think you guys do too.
And like I said, crossing the block tomorrow at 11 a.m. So let's see here. We have the Talbot logo.
Yep.
These are beautiful, obviously going up. Not a brand that a lot of people have heard of unless you're really in the in the collector car industry. So they don't come up for sale terribly often. This is not the kind of car you can go on Auto Trader, for example, and do a drop-down menu and find. But it's fantastic to see here. I mean, I love the little speed holes that are real in it.
The sports are great.
It's got amazing.
The color presentation of this car with, the painted wheels, the skirted fenders, really is a stately cruiser. And we got a couple French cars. We got the Delahaye right over there.
We'll have to be hitting that soon.
So really neat French flair. Another super usable car.
Ultra usable.
Right? This car was restored by one of the top 914.6 race guys historically, and just done really well, but done so you could use it.
Right, and I love when things are restored to that level. They're not restored to where, don't touch it. It was restored to drive.
Yep.
And that's amazing.
Killer color.
Yes, I do love that
Everybody loves that color.
Now this one's been getting a lot of buzz.
Oh yeah.
I know all of the ladies at Worldwide have just kept saying, oh man, that FJ. And I mean, how can you not? This thing has been resto-modded in a way that makes it undeniably cool. I mean, look, you can even see this big aluminum radiator sticking through here.
Very cool.
Which means this thing's not gonna get hot. I mean, everything about this is cool. I mean, I've seen the pictures of the restoration or the resto-modding of it, and everything has been gone through on this car.
And we've all seen lots of different variations of upgrading a lot of these models, and these folks did a spectacular job. The look, the feel, the functionality.
Yeah, exactly. They didn't overdo it.
Yeah.
I love everything about it too.
Yeah,
I mean,
this one's ready to get out, and you guessed it.
Yep.
Use it today.
Use it. Now, we also don't just have cars here. We actually have an aquatic offering. Tell us a little bit more about this. This is actually a movie boat. So this is an old vintage hydroplane.
That's right. This is a movie star boat used in a full feature motion picture. Miss Miami is, of course, the name of the boat. So you can pull it up, watch the movie. It's really neat. But it's a usable boat. You can have some fun with it. But I like it just because of its cool factor.
Yeah, it's so cool.
And I'd love to have this either on the ground or maybe even up on the wall.
Yes, on a wall tilted or
and
something.
a collection, just a neat piece and kind of a fun and funky oddity that, you know, when you come to an auction, sometimes it's fun to see something, interesting.
Yeah, it's not all cars all the time. There's great pieces like this.
Yeah, we're collectors. We collect cool stuff.
Well said.
And out, there's tons of cars, but, unique offerings. This 73 and a half has been updated.
911T, yep.
Killer interior.
Love it.
I absolutely love this car. Again, this was ready to go.
Beautiful
bus. Got its
People
birth
loving
certificate. Original colors, beautifully done. And of course,
the Citroen.
That's right.
And this is one of the ones with the really cool suspension. If you guys haven't seen it, this is, for the day in 1972. In fact, I watched the movie the other day. This thing will raise itself like a foot. It's insane how high up it can get, because right now it looks like the back end's dragging on the grass.
That's right.
But it's got this really fascinating suspension system that also makes it ride more comfortably than most modern cars.
And one of the most enjoyable things about looking at the different eras of cars is some of the technology. We see a lot of those types of features in more modern cars, but you think, this is quite a while ago now.
Yeah.
And to have that kind of technology,
I think it makes it even cooler.
Cool.
Yeah, I think it's
very
even cooler.
cool.
This one even has adaptive headlights, which again, we're just now kind of coming back to.
Now, earlier this week, we were looking at our low mile original cars.
Yes.
And this one wasn't here yet.
No, and this one's even lower mileage.
That's right.
Mileage than the rest of them. Tell us how many miles on it.
This car, we'll just double check, give you the exact
I believe it's
right
under
now.
30.
75.
75.
75 actual miles.
Wow.
Preservation class. Of course, these are, I don't know if I would say the 59 or the mid-70s are the better cruisers, but
somebody really did preserve it. I mean,
they did.
You could accidentally drive it more than 75 miles between now and then. I mean, it's amazing to even see the leather in this kind of condition. Yeah. It's not like the type of thing that was stored in a garage, but this is climate controlled, stored its entire life to maintain this kind of preservation.
It's just a great car.
It's a great car.
It's a great car.
Yeah.
Okay, now we're getting around to some muscle.
Yes.
But one of my favorite cars, and again, I talk a lot about the people behind them. Cool drag car, lots of power.
Very cool.
Right here, one of my favorite cars in the auction.
Love it.
This is a 71 CUDA 446 pack, 4-speed.
Yes, with the pistol grip shifter.
That's right, pistol grip
so
shifter.
Cool.
And Jeff Snyder of Just Resurrections in Taylor, Texas, restored this car for a good friend of ours, Rick Perez, down in San Antonio, Texas. And they did a no expense spared restoration on the car. But Jeff has shared, even as recently as this week, that this car had the best original sheet metal of any Mopar he's ever done, which is saying something.
Yeah, that is saying something.
Paperwork, of course, the color.
The Plum Crazy is like one of the best muscle car
yes,
colors of all
and,
time.
You know, I know everybody, you know, can correct us, but the official color code is Inviolet, but I think most of us think of it as Plum Crazy. That's what I call it.
Yep.
And it's just the right car, but the quality of this car is off the charts. The paperwork, the documentation, it doesn't get any better than that car.
Well said. Now, behind it, total departure from muscle. But we talked about the French offerings here again, and the Delahaye is one of them. And this one it's beautiful. It's a 135A, and if you see, I think I talked about this a little bit yesterday, but the 3-position roof is so cool on this. Right now, I would say it's in position 2
sure.
of 3.
Sure.
But it's perfect. You can have kind of open top motoring for your front. People in the back get some shade. This has the pre-selector transmission. I love that. And like I said, this is something that not everybody's going to have. If you pulled up to a Cars and Coffee in this, everybody would be, what is that? I mean, it's
quintessential colors, you know, chaperone body. It's really a car that you would think might be worth millions of dollars, but it isn't. And you can have a lot of value in your collection with a great French car.
Yep.
And it's just it's
just beautiful. Love it.
Hey guys.
Now.
Okay, now we're coming in, Elliot.
It's almost hard to be like, oh, where do we start?
Well, as most everyone knows, I'm from Auburn, Indiana, which we refer to as the classic car capital of the world, referring to the classic era.
Yes.
And so we got a set of Packard Darrens here, a 2-door and a 4-door, and they are both just exceptionally restored quality cars. And there's a difference between just a really, really good car and a great car. And these two are just great cars. Some of you have already heard me maybe talk a little bit about this, and the owner who joined the CCCA in 1968 and served the club as a master judge, as president of his region, and really represents what the hobby's all about. And this is a car he waited for, searched for, and then restored it, took it to Pebble Beach, had a podium finish. And it's just a lot of fun. And a little fun story about this car. At Pebble Beach, he finished second to another car. Well, they left Pebble and they went to the Grand National CCCA meet just a few weeks later, and he won Best in Show and beat that other car. So for those of you that have been to concours, you're like, well, why didn't I win? Or I should have won. And, the owner is very respectful of all the judges, but it's kind of cool that he got the best of both of those.
I agree. And it really is beautiful and exceptionally rare, as we talked about it. I believe it's one of 11 known to.
Yeah, 11. This one we got ownership history from new. Just the quality and history and documentation of this car, amazing. And, I'm great friends with this owner, known her for a long time, but this car behind us,
the 2-door,
is in the same caliber. And so it's neat to be able to see both the 2 and the 4-door Darrens side by side, and really a neat opportunity for collectors to check them out and buy one or maybe even both.
Totally, well said. Behind us, this 911, now this has been one of my favorites even since I just saw it in the catalog. First of all, it's got this great Martini livery paint scheme. But this particular car has been pretty much set up perfectly for vintage racing. In fact, it has done some, as is evident on the roll cage in here. And I just love it. I mean, this is exactly what vintage racing is all about. And this is a good way of getting into it. I mean, this is a turnkey, ready to go car.
This car was on a rally just a few weeks ago. So it is a proven car. You know, we talk about, hey, we can hop in and drive it. This car was hopped in and driven extensively. It's ready to go.
I just love it. And like I said, it's been grabbing my attention all week.
And everybody else's.
Let's go that way. Beautiful Alpha, real Hemi Roadrunner though.
Yes, we've talked a lot about some of the great muscle cars here. And this car is a Hemi 4-speed.
That's the way you want
a real Hemi 4-speed. And those are just cars that you either have a Hemi 4-speed or you don't.
Exactly.
Right? So,
and then next to it, we have the Edsel Ranger,
Yep.
and this was the last year that they made the Edsel brand at all. And it's kind of a funny car to begin with, so it's very rare to see one in convertible configuration.
Yeah.
So it's taken a very unique thing, but the color spec is awesome. You don't get much more 50s than white on teal
These
blue.
cars should have never existed. There's only 25 of them left.
Yeah, exceptionally rare and very well gone through. I've looked under the hood.
Yep.
Fantastic. Now, I've been a fan of these since I was a youngster as well. A Shelby Series 1, 1999. Obviously, like Carroll Shelby, his name is on the seats. And while it shares a lot of Mustang stuff, believe it or not, it's powered by an Oldsmobile V8.
Yep.
Very fascinating, but really, that's all semantics. What this car is about is the look. And I mean, talk about a good-looking, swoopy body shape. I mean, you could pull up into this and nobody would ever know it's from 1999. I mean,
it's a
incredible.
sexy car. It's 750 miles.
750 miles is, again, basically brand new as well.
Yeah, killer car.
Amazing. Now, next to it, totally different, but a 1957 Bel Air Fuelie convertible. And this one hasn't been hot rodded or anything like that. In fact, it's been perfectly restored. This thing is probably the best condition 57 Fuelie I've ever seen. Like I said, the Fuelies were only available in 57 on the Bel Air. So this is a crazy rare car to also have it be a convertible. And I just love the way this thing looks. And again,
another
great driving car.
Quintessential 50s car. If you haven't had one, you owe it to yourself to get one. Love the,
gotta touch
so
the,
many
on the
great
Jag.
cars.
Yes.
This car and these colors, I mean, a Roadster, it's done right.
So good.
It's just a great car.
I love the leather belt on the hood. I mean, it's perfect.
Yep. Wonderful.
We even have, Resto Mod Camaro. Very cool.
And we really, as we talked about earlier, want to have a diverse offering. So we got some great early sports cars, later sports cars.
Yep.
And we've got some really good 50s cars, Chrysler products. We obviously have the GM products. This is the last group of the Ron Thorne
collection.
Early Ford V8 collection.
And so they're well spoken for as far as their provenance and,
just
their
really
shape.
Good cars.
They are fantastic.
But, oh wait, Elliot, guess where we have arrived?
Where have we arrived?
We have arrived
up at the Sunbeam section.
The Tigers.
Okay.
And I love Tigers. This one, or both of these, came out of a really special collection where a husband and wife were decades-long Tiger enthusiasts, and they collected all of the rare LAT parts for this one.
Yep.
Got it together, really neat.
And then it's becoming a convertible as we speak.
Oh, I know. Yes, there we go. We're functioning right now.
But this one,
Tiger
is
number
as
one,
special as it can get in the Tiger community.
Yep, JAL number 1, and this car was done right. The color combo is incredible. The moonstone red.
Yep.
And these folks collected all the parts. And for those of you that are Tiger fans, it's kind of tough because they're not really reproduced much at all. Some of them you can't get. So this car is right.
Yes.
And when you restore a car, many of you have done that, and you know that either it's right
or it's not.
Or you just kind of had to find your stuff and wing it. And so really neat that this car is here. It's a significant car in Tiger World.
It's a very significant car in Tiger World. Now let's poke outside here because there's a few other cool cars.
Yes. Yes. I mean, these cars are not only great looking, but the Super 8 Packards have a lot of power. So the looks, the power, but this car is phenomenally restored. And any of you have gone through a restoration of a classic era car, you know what that means. This car has had all the money and all the time spent on it.
Absolutely.
So you
It
don't
shows.
have to. And if you want to just look at it, I mean, the colors, incredible selection, the usability, if you want to do that. So, I mean, this is a show it, go it,
tour it,
look at it. It's
you could do whatever
everything
you want with it, yes.
for a classic Packard.
And I just always try to imagine how much of a statement this would have been in 1934. I mean, wow. And then, I mean, heck, it's a heck of a statement today in 2024.
Yes.
So, I mean, it's just, there's a reason this is one of the big cars for this weekend.
Great car.
Man, well, what a great tour. I think we're going to call it on that.
I think so. We've got you've seen it all. You've seen the sports cars, you've seen the classics.
The supercars, the muscle cars. We even have an electric car over there we didn't talk about, but we have something about pretty much for everyone, like we always try to say. And all of these will be going across the block tomorrow, January 26th at 11 a.m. Mountain Standard Time. And we hope to see you there. But if you can't be here in person, be sure to tune in here at Worldwide TV, either on our website, YouTube, and I believe Facebook. So we will see you guys tomorrow for the auction.
We'll see you there.